Nothing we say is investment advice. Please pause on all 3 pages of this disclaimer and read it.
Good morning, everybody. Cowboy here. It is 8:31 a.m. EST, and we're looking at Bitcoin as we speak. We had the big, exciting news last week that everybody thought was going to boost markets. Powell did some dovish talk, basically saying we're not going to worry about the 2% target anymore when it comes to the Fed funds rate. And for those of you who might be new to Fed speak, that is an indication of some loosening up, meaning the Fed's willing to make money cheap. That's what people thought. And so Bitcoin and everything else went ahead and moved up. If you look at Bitcoin, you can also look at the NASDAQ around the same time. Big move up with the NASDAQ that I had predicted would happen anyway. And of course, across currencies, we saw a major move all at the same time while the market thought that the dollar would get weak. Come to find out, that was also a head fake, much like it seems that the CPI was a head fake after the PPI calmed that down, because all of these moves, including with the euro, were erased. Erasure there. Erasure with the NASDAQ wasn't quite erased. The NASDAQ did maintain maybe, let's just say, 75% of its gains thus far. And if we go back to Bitcoin, that was worse than erased. Bitcoin actually is probably about 40% lower than it was before that pump, signaling that that move down was probably going to happen. So let's back out and take a look at Bitcoin. I know this is what everybody is concerned about right now. And if we take a look at the market structure, the most recent area of structure prior to this large move up, and I will point out what that move up was. This is the move up that I'm talking about. And it ended in a double top here, this big peak up at about 124,500. That's the structure where the liquidity is, where price may go to grab more liquidity. And I don't see any definable possible end to the bull market until price goes below 98,000, right? It is very, very possible that price can go into this area that is above 98,000 and do all kinds of neat stuff and come back up. Now, it doesn't mean that if it goes below 98, the bull market is over. It just means that if price goes below 98,000, then there is a chance that the bull market is over. And we have a few other metrics that we can look at besides that. And again, it doesn't mean price will go down there. I have a couple of areas where I would expect price to not go past, and we can measure those out here and now. First area I would look at is going to be around 103,000. Now that's the area below the current area, which is 108,000. 108 is a concern. Okay, so that's one area I'm looking at. And it does appear that price is going to hit 108 if it hasn't already. And I don't think it has quite gone there. It was at 108.7, so it still is kind of in the 109,000 range, hasn't quite made it down. But if I were to predict where price would go before this is all done, this move down is done, the first place I'd look would be roughly 107.5, which is kind of where it's gone. Now, to look at the algos, it does appear that price may want to continue down and continue down for some time. So that would be, again, the first place at 107.5, but certainly not the last place. Okay, so where is next? Well, if I were to go ahead and, first of all, fix some color coding issues here. If I were to extend this liquidity map and go back a little further, we'll have some other ideas where price might want to go. And like I said earlier, 103,000 really seems to be the place. And really, anywhere from 102.6 all the way up to 105.7. There's a lot of liquidity in this area going back to where all of this business happened. But below 102.5, not quite as much liquidity until you get down to that 98,000 level. And the 98,000 level is going to have a fair amount of recent liquidity. All of this backed up by some prior liquidity, but that is not quite as relevant as what is happening right around here. So if I were to go ahead and extend this back and we were to see price continue down, the next place I would look again, would be at about, I'd say 93 to 94,000. And that's getting pretty far out there, and we're not there yet. And I'm not going to think that way, not because I have some emotional attachment, not because I'm scared to think that way, but just because we're not there yet. I take things level by level. We are still actually above 108,000. Technically, we really came pretty close to tapping that at about 108.7. We got into some of this liquidity. Price may not go down there, but I get the feeling we have two probable paths as long as the bull market is still intact for Bitcoin. Your first probable path, as far as I'm concerned, is going to look something like this, where price makes its way down to 108, goes sideways for a minute, and then heads back up. That can happen. The other path would be quite possibly where price dumps down a little bit further, grabs 103, maybe a little bit lower, scares some people out, and heads back up. Those are the bullish scenarios that I'm looking at right now. Again, as price heads down there and the algos give me more data, this can change, but this is what I see as it stands right now. To back this up a little bit, we're going to go ahead and take a look at the Kingfisher and grab some liquidity data, as long as the Kingfisher is playing nice today. Sometimes, as lovely as a website as the Kingfisher can be, it maybe it's my computer. I don't want to blame the Kingfisher, but sometimes I have some issues getting the data off here. Now, while that's thinking, I'm also going to take a look at Bitcoin dominance, and we're going to take a look at that. So BTC.D divided by 100 minus BTC.D, that's my own, not my own, I got it from someone else, but that's the formula I use so that I can actually look at high time frame Bitcoin dominance and get an idea of what's going on. Now, as long as Bitcoin dominance remains bearish, and bearish it is, I'm telling you right now, Bitcoin dominance is pretty darn bearish. We haven't seen bearishness and dominance like this since December of 2020, right? And that can mean the end of the bull market. It can also mean that we're just seeing a break and the alts will go ahead and party, and then we get another move up, which was August of 2020. So we don't know which one of those that is yet. We do see that dominance is lower and lower as that is here on the chart. But as it stands right now, dominance is bearish, which means that the altcoins have a chance of going up as long as the entire market cap of crypto is not falling. Let's roll back to the Kingfisher. And it looks like almost all of the leverage is going to be way up high, around 115. Not way up high, but pretty high. Not a lot of leverage going on down below. Not a lot of longs in the market right now. A lot of shorts. Interesting. That's very interesting. I almost want to run that again because that doesn't look normal. That doesn't look, it looks like the market has lost all confidence in Bitcoin, which is, believe it or not, a reason to think it might head up. I know that's counterintuitive, but all the liquidity is basically at the 115 to 115.3. That's where the liquidity is right now, according to this Kingfisher map that I just pulled up. So we can put that liquidity on the map here on the chart and understand that price would want to go to the lower 115 area. Okay, 115,000 that is, right? So just this sliver right here, but there's a lot of liquidity in that sliver. And if we can get, and by the way, this liquidity changes, things move around, people put on longs. So that map over here that I just showed you, that will change. In the meantime, though, if there is a bounce, it will want to go to 115. And we could literally see a bounce happen now. I don't think it's going to happen, but things can turn around pretty quickly with Bitcoin, and we get a bounce up to this area. If we do, there's a decent chance it'll continue down afterwards. Right now, of course, as that bounce occurs, I will be paying attention, and that thesis can change as everything does based on the data. But there's a lot of liquidity at 115. So I'll put it to you this way. If I were trading this and I were to see the short-term algos flip very bullish very quickly, I would have targets at 115, provided that the liquidity was still here on the Kingfisher, right? That's how I would handle that. Okay, Kingfisher's free. There's a link in the description over on YouTube and on Rumble. You can use that link to go over there. It also has paid features that are excellent. It's a really good website. I highly recommend it, and I do not get paid by them to say that. It's just a really good website. That's a lot on Bitcoin, but I know everybody's eyes are on Bitcoin, and that's about all we've got time for. I will take a brief look at Ethereum, and I can tell you now at least, oh wow, look at that prediction. Oh yeah, that's that prediction I made a few days ago. Not a big surprise. It did go ahead and bounce off the all-time highs, and it headed down when everything else headed down, right? So we're not a big surprise to see Ethereum have a pullback when the entire market is pulling back. But I can tell you that there is a lot of bullishness left in Ethereum, and this area right here at, what is this, about 4,300, that could be the bottom. It's quite possible. And it does appear that Ethereum may be developing a range, and that range is going to be possibly between about 4,050, topping out around 4,950. We'll see. We'll see if that range holds. Those ranges are more or less those numbers. It might be that the actual range is a little bit lower, maybe around 4880, whatever it is, but that's probably where price will bounce around until it breaks either up or down, and we'll have to see how that goes. So we've been on for a bit. Thank you all for watching. Go over to the description, get your free algo. I put an algo in there. You get to see me build it. It's a simple algo. Now, if you know what you're doing, you can actually optimize that algo and possibly use that to trade. In the meantime, you get to see how the sausage is made, and you can come over to algofactory.tech. So to get all of that, just give us a name. We don't care if it's real or fake. Give us an email, give you the algo right away, and we'll also let you know when the workshops are coming up. The workshop that's coming up will be free, and the next ones after that will be paid unless you are an Algo Factory member. They're free to them. Thank you all for watching. We're going to head over to the private live lab, and we will catch you on the flip side. And also, while you're still here with us, do not forget,
join us or die.
Just kidding. That's just a joke. You will not die. You will be great. And we love you.